So he would care about climate change more than an island there, and I didn't tell you could. Which is, I guess, that's where I was going with. I'm like, what is he actually bothered about?
Right. Yeah.
So, so global warming, or in this case, ice age.
Yes.
And,
yeah.
So ice age.
I like how we now made Elmo Al Gore.
Well,
I'm kidding.
I mean, he has to. He has evidence for what he's talking about. Anyway, moving on.
Yeah, that's true. And he can actually see the change over time as opposed to a slice out of time. Yeah.
Right. This isn't a prediction thing. This is you stole all my water and locked it up in these polar ice caps, and I'm annoyed with you now. Yeah. So, yeah, that's a.
Even having characters divided in their response toward Melkor probably bothers Manwë. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And maybe we can see a conversation between Manwë and Varda concerning this.
Yeah, I think we do need to have the two of them privately discuss Melkor.
Yeah.
At some point in the episode. Not right away, though, so the audience has time to wonder what they're thinking about all of this.
Right. Yes, I agree.
But probably before the showdown with Elmo.
Yeah. Because I very strongly feel that Varda is not going to, at any point, come out publicly disagreeing with Manwë about something.
No, never. Bite her tongue before she does that.
What's that? Yeah.
She'll bite her tongue before she does that.
You know, privately it's another matter, but I feel like publicly she's not gonna basically like lower Manwë in that way. They might be the walrus and the volcano, but the Valar aren't actually more united now than they were. No, absolutely. And so that's a concern for Manwë, even though everything kind of gets fixed in the end. Manwë can see that we're not all there.
Yeah, dissension is growing rather than
and we can even maybe see, like off to the side, we can see interactions between the Valarkar, however you pronounce that word, and the Proto-Balrogs. I don't like calling them. I like calling them the Valarkar at this point because it just feels like Anyway,
Valarkar sounds like it's a Tolkien word because it is. Proto-Balrog sounds like it came out of a biology textbook.
Yeah, that sounds terrible. But we can see interactions between them and other Maiar. They're kind of they kind of step on everybody's toes a little bit. They're not bullies per se, but they're very much in lockstep with each other. Yes. Yeah. And they're very much, Melkor said. It's not they don't have independent thought. They need space to do anything. Yeah. Pretty much anytime that anybody questions them on anything, they always say, well, Melkor. And we could probably see a lot of that during the construction of the lamps.
Right. So it's going to be, I say that will be more next episode. There is one thing we can slip in this episode, which might be too much, but next episode we're going to have Ungoliant be the actual villain. Yes. So what she apparently has been doing is stealing Maiar and sucking the life force out of them. Yeah. So they're less floaty, right? Uh-huh. So we could have a few victims show up in this episode.
Okay.
So that can start to have happened. There's no lamps yet, so she's not hanging out at Almarin. This is, some Maya goes off somewhere and doesn't come back, and someone goes looking for them and finds them weakened or whatever. Yeah. And they say they were attacked by some monster. It's.
I'm sorry to hear that, Karina.
Yeah. So it is a mystery kind of, but maybe would increase suspicion towards Melkor's group. So maybe the Valarkar haven't actually done anything all that bad. But when these people start turning up injured, suspicion immediately points to them as do you think those guys did it?
And but also on the other hand of that, we can actually see Melkor a little nervous about this because maybe he has a suspicion as to what's going on here.
Yeah. If Varda knew it was Melkor, Melkor knows it was Ungoliant.
Yes.
So they can have the parallel reactions.
Right, yeah.
I think I recognize this behavior.
Yeah. Did we have Melkor telling Varda about his interaction with Ungoliant? I don't remember.
We didn't bring it up specifically, I don't think. I think we just said that he invites her to come out to the void with him because he's a little afraid of what's out there.
Because if he did, they could actually exchange a glance, a foreboding glance. But I'm not. If Melkor gets any shade about this, it will feed his "I am misunderstood" mentality. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
And that's why I kind of want to introduce it when he would be the obvious villain, and it's not him this time.
Yes.
The one time it's not Melkor
is
the one time they're quick to blame him or his posse.
Okay. I feel like we can definitely do this, and maybe okay. This could be part of the conversation that Manwë and Varda have, because if we introduce that Melkor talked to Varda about Ungoliant back in the last episode. If we do that, then maybe Varda approaches Manwë and they're having this conversation and Varda tells Manwë, I don't think it was him. I don't think that this was him.
Wait, so is Varda going to be talking with Melkor in this episode?
No. What I'm saying is that if we establish that Melkor told Varda about his interaction with Ungoliant back in episode 2, that Varda may have her suspicions that this event that's taking place is not actually, like, that can kind of give us our out so that to where Manwë doesn't necessarily have to put the blame squarely on Melkor. He can.
Yes, but I agree with Karita that Melkor's not the kind of guy who's going to share information needlessly.
Yeah, that's true.
So he's going to keep it to himself. And if his whole goal in that conversation was to convince Varda, come with me, he's not going to be like, there's this really creepy person you should meet. Like, you know. So I don't see him bringing it up with her.
Okay. Is it possible that she just...
Right.
That she just kind of... whatchamacallit? Is it possible that she can just kind of get a foreknowledge, some kind of foreknowledge about what he's doing? About what Ungoliant's doing, not specifically, but she can kind of have some kind of idea in her mind that it's not Melkor that's doing it. Yeah, like Karita's saying, it's not his MO at this point.
Okay, so she would recognize that his affront at being accused is genuine. She knows him enough to be like, let's not assume
right.
This is. Yeah. Okay. That I think is fair.
Yeah, I like that. Okay. So we get. So all this is leading up to the confrontation between Ulmo and Melkor. As far as, you know, that's where this is going to go.
Yeah. So if the goal is for Melkor to not really want to be a member of the Valar, he has to have a valid, what would you call it? Reason for backing off, right? Like he has to feel like he's been treated unfairly by them.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
And it could even make certain members of the Maiar and Valar are uncomfortable that Manwë is not addressing this issue with Melkor, who's clearly the prime suspect.
Right.
But Manwë is in actuality following the wisdom of his wife, and who is suggesting that that it's not the case, that he's not the one.
Yeah, she might just say, let's give this some time and let's see how this all plays out.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. So then, is there anything that we want to have before the conversation between Ulmo and Melkor at this point?
I think that's it. I'm pretty sure that's all that we need to have covered there.
Awesome. So, so where do we go then? So, how does that conversation go down? Does Melkor approach Ulmo? Does Ulmo approach Melkor?
Does Ulmo approach other people first before the direct confrontation with Melkor? Like, has he been complaining about Melkor the whole episode?
I don't think so.
Yeah, that's not his personality. So
no, he'll if he's going to address the issue, he's going to address the issue in front of everybody, and in front of like if he's going to be talking bad at you to other people, he's going to be doing it in front of everybody.
Yes.
Like you're going to have the opportunity to be there at the very least.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe Melkor is admiring his handiwork up in the north, and Ulmo approaches him. How do we feel about that? I have absolutely no idea what you agreed to, Karita, because there was too much troll spam. Sorry.
I think that was... Yeah. I thought that showed up when she was saying Ulmo wouldn't go back.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, sorry about the spam. But, okay, so... Would Ulmo directly approach Melkor? Melkor's not going to come find Ulmo.
No.
So it's got to be Ulmo approaching Melkor. So Melkor could be hanging out, surveying his lands, as it were, and being quite pleased with himself.
Mm-hmm.
The Balrogs are not there this time for whatever reason. I agree. They're off on some other project.
I feel like it would be a little bit much for Ulmo to basically challenge Melkor in front of all his minions.
Right. He's not going to take that route, but he's going to say, "Oh, I see that I caught you at a good time. Let's chat."
Yeah. Yeah. So I've been noticing everywhere that the oceans are disappearing, and it seems like you've had a hand in this. So what's up with that? And as loath as I am to put Iluvatar's words in Melkor's mouth, I do feel like it's a good way of addressing the situation.
Yeah. The idea of letting Melkor win one.
Yes.
Is good.
Yeah. And be right. And be correct.
Yeah, that's what I meant by win. He's got it right this time.
Yes.
And almost not going to forget this message.
Yeah, no, I agree.
So this is like a permanent win for Melkor.
Yeah.
But yeah.
But he's not always going to be right. I think Ulmo is a straight shooter. He can start this conversation, and it will set him up as being the one who is the least shy about conflict. Rita says, yes, absolutely. Mm-hmm. And it's going to set up this kind of what right now is a mild antagonism between Ulmo and Melkor. becoming full-fledged. This guy needs to end. We need to end this person on both sides.
Mm-hmm. Yes, and we're going to see Melkor seek out Asti later to get to Ulmo. And we're going to see Melkor not like water very much, ever. So there's going to be recurring iterations of this from both sides. So this initial conflict has to end where neither of them was happy with how it ended.
Right, exactly. Well, because almost clearly not going to get down on his knees and bow to Melkor, as Melkor, who feels he's made an amazing point, clearly expects, what, you're going to pick a fight with me? I'll steal your intern, Karita says. Yeah, absolutely. That's truly where this is, where this is going to wind up.
Yeah. I'll steal your intern. Yes, petty sexual stuff. Melkor is great at that, or will become great at that. Like at this point, it's early enough that he's not petty yet. Yes, I mean he's probably spiteful already, but he's willing to be the bigger guy to a point.
Mm-hmm.
So when he wins the fight, he can magnanimously allow Ulmo to walk away, But this is like the last we're going to see of him making points like that.
Yes.
Like this is the end of his wisdom.
Right. So Melkor wins this conversation.
Mm-hmm. By stealing words from Iluvatar.
In a very